Hi everyone, this is Tina. My life was seemingly perfect before I got married. I had a decent job and was all set to marry the man of my dreams. Let me give you some details about me. It will help you understand my story better. I belonged to a middle-class family. We had a good life with a quaint house in the suburbs. My life changed for the worse when I lost my parents after my high school graduation. I still blame myself sometimes, but with therapy, I have almost come to terms with it. After my parents passed away, I was brought face to face with reality. They did have a college fund for me, which I needed to use for funeral expenses. There was not much in savings because they had just purchased the house. So my dream of going to college ended there. I was left to fend for myself while also grieving my family. It pains me to even think of that time. I worked my butt off doing minimum wage jobs before landing a job as a receptionist. When my life was a little more stable, I met Jaden. I actually met him through a dating site and we quickly became close. He had a sister his age named Vienna. Vienna and I would go on to have an amazing friendship that is still the same even today. While his sister loved me a lot, his mother didn't. His mom was one of those controlling and overly entitled parents. She often made fun of me and mocked me for not going to college. She said, "I have no idea why Jaden likes you so much. Everyone in your family has been to college. We like having highly educated people in the family. Even Vienna is doing her major in business studies. It's a shame Jaden chose a dumb girl over so many people." I wanted to go to college, Esther, but after my parents' death, I had no money. There was no way I could have survived. Those are just excuses. My son and daughter both took out student loans to go to college. They didn't take the easy way by doing lowly jobs and ruining their lives. I didn't ruin my life, Esther. I worked a decent job and managed to stay afloat even after getting orphaned at 18. And I am helping Jaden pay back his debts by contributing more to the household. Around 1 year of dating, Jaden had suggested that he move in with me. His student debt was crippling him and he needed to cut down on his expenses. He did have a good job, but the loans were way too much to handle. So I allowed him to move into my house since we were going strong. I didn't let him pay rent and instead ended up footing the grocery bills. I also dipped into my savings to get his car fixed. He only paid towards his debts and gave money to his mother. So when Esther made fun of me, it really hurt. She tried to make me out to be a dumb girl who didn't deserve Jaden. She was right in a way. I didn't deserve Jaden. I deserved someone better. I just didn't know that then. Despite Esther's problems with me, Jaden married me. He loved his mother and never took a stand against her. Still, I married him. I was a stupid fool who thought that he would change and at least stand up for his wife. Well, he never did. Esther continued to insult me and take the money from her son while I footed all the bills in the house. She even moved in with a new boyfriend and made Jaden pay for his expenses too. It was a horrible situation for us. I stayed in that marriage for 2 years. I was determined to make it work. I was afraid to be alone. We fought a lot about his mother. I hated the fact that he never defended me. Jaden always ignored me and blamed me for creating problems. There is one other thing that we constantly fought about. Since Jaden was stuck paying his debts and helping out his mom, we would have to wait a long time to have a child. It devastated me, but I made my peace with it until one day Esther called everyone into her house and said, "So you must be wondering why I called all of you here. Well, I am pregnant. You will have a new sibling soon. I am having a baby boy." "Wow, that's good news, Mom. Congratulations." "You have to be kidding me, Mom. What were you thinking? You don't work and your boyfriend doesn't give you any money. How will you support this child? Vienna, this is a miracle child. You know I always wanted a third child, but never had the chance. I finally have my dream come true. Don't be so cruel. You were barely a good mother to us, Mom. Do you think you are an expert at raising children? This is not a freaking hobby. Who the hell will support you? I want no part of this. I'm telling you right now. Don't be such a witch, Vienna. We will all pitch in to help. This child will be special and won't have to ask for anything. I am confident Mom will be able to do it. I stayed silent because I didn't know what to say. I won't lie, but I felt like this was a slap in my face, and I agreed with what Vienna said. Esther depended on her children for everything, and now she was adding another member to our lives. Surprisingly, the father of the child wasn't in the house, which was very concerning as well. Somehow, I had the feeling that I was about to be in big trouble, and I was right. The next day, when I returned home from work, I found both Jaden and Esther waiting for me in my living room. I had no idea that Esther was coming to visit. I greeted them and they told me to sit down. Jaden said, "We have to talk about something, Tina. It's very important, so we need you to listen very carefully." "What is it, Jaden? What's the matter?" "You need to take a second job. Our expenses will increase a lot in the coming years." "What? Why? Are we making any big purchases or something?" "No, we will be taking in my mother and my new brother." Guys, at this moment, I felt like I was having a nightmare or something. My husband said this with a straight face, and my mother-in-law nodded with him. They looked at me as if it was their birthright to demand food and board from me, as if they are both entitled to my money. I wished that it was a bad joke, but no one laughed, and there was no hint of a smile either. After a while, it became awfully clear to me that they were not joking after all. I blinked a couple of times and said, "Let me just summarize this again. You two want me to get a second job so that I can take over the responsibility of Esther and her new baby?" "That's right, Tina. Oh my God, finally you have got this one right. You are not that dumb after all. What you said is exactly what we want." "And what if I don't agree to this ridiculous request that feels more like an entitled demand?" "You have no way to say no, Tina. I already told Mom that she can move in with us. The baby will be here in a few months, and there are a lot of expenses before that." "Yes, there will be lots of expenses. We need to set up a nice nursery and a playroom for my son. I was thinking about converting Tina's study into a nursery, and I can move into the guest room, but you will have to buy a better mattress. It's super uncomfortable. Oh, and I need a monthly allowance for shopping. I need new maternity clothes and a child's clothes too." God, there is so much to do. I heard Esther rant about what she planned to do with my house and with my money. I was stunned to see that my dear husband agreed to all of her demands and decisions. Why won't he? It wasn't the money Esther was going to spend. It would be my money from 2 freaking jobs. My opinions here didn't matter. They didn't even ask for it. There were no requests, just demands. They continued to say, "As you can see, Tina, the baby does have a lot of expenses. You won't understand since you don't have children. So you absolutely need to take up a second job for Mom and her baby." "Yes, I'm sure you'll find some minimum wage jobs around. It doesn't have to be 2 jobs. You can also do 3, whatever pleases you." I don't think this is a good idea, guys. I'm already working a lot to support the 2 of us. Taking up 2 jobs for a baby who isn't even mine is just way too much to expect from me. When I said this, There was a stunned silence on their end. Jaden and Esther both looked at me with angry expressions on their faces. Their faces made it seem like I told her to get rid of the baby or something. I had simply said that I didn't want to shoulder Esther and the baby's expenses for who knows how long. But Jaden and Esther both jumped on me with their rage. They said, "I already told you, Tina. There is no way for you to say no. This is the only way that we can afford to raise this child." "Do you see that, Jaden? Tina wants me to get rid of my child." "Oh my God, how can you be so cruel, Tina? Just because you don't have children, that doesn't mean no one else would." "What the hell, Esther? I never said that. I don't have a baby because I want to be financially stable to take care of it. If you want to keep your child and raise him, then why don't you get your own job?" "Are you telling my poor old mom to get a job? Didn't you hear what the doctors said? This is a high-risk pregnancy. We can't let her work or do anything around the house. Mom is having a miracle child. We need to step in and help her." "But no one else is pitching in for the baby. I will be the one to work 2 jobs and provide for everyone. And I will be the one doing house chores for 4 freaking people. Who knows, I will be told to babysit too." "It's not babysitting when you're doing it for the family. You are bound to look after the baby. He will be your new brother-in-law. Vienna will also come and help at times." "I highly doubt that, Esther. She already told us that she wants no part of this problem. The most she can do is pay a small amount for hospital bills. I can't blame her. She has just started working and had student loans." "I have student loans too, Tina. That's why you have to get 2 jobs to help. Since you didn't go to college, it won't hurt you to join minimum wage jobs. I don't want to ruin my reputation by doing that." I don't know which was worse, the entitlement or the insults against me. They wanted me to work like an ass because I don't have a fancy college degree. Apparently, I have no self-respect, while it will kill Jaden to take up small jobs even after having a college degree. I wanted to laugh and cry at the same time. Meanwhile, Esther and Jaden continued to rant about how this miracle child needed so much care and expensive stuff. My head was spinning, and I didn't know what to do. I decided that I needed to talk to Jaden separately, so I asked Esther to sit in the living room while I talked to Jaden privately. She protested, but this time I wasn't having it. As we went into the kitchen, Jaden said, "There was no reason to talk to me separately, Tina. I already told you what I wanted to tell you." "Yes, back there all you did was talk and tell me your demands. But what about my opinions, Jaden? Why didn't you consult me before deciding on your own?" "I didn't decide on my own. Mom was there to help me." "Really, Tina, this is the only way there is. We already told you that." "This is not the only way, Jaden. Esther can get a job, and so can you. Or you can make the baby daddy become responsible for the baby. Where the hell is he anyway?" "He will not be in the picture anymore. He left town yesterday. Mom can't be living alone in the house, so she is staying with us from tomorrow." "What the hell, Jaden? Why are you not suing the guy for child support and stuff? Just get a lawyer." "Mom doesn't want too much stress by bringing in the courts. If the father doesn't want to take responsibility, we will. We are her family after all." "You can't just say that, Jaden. I need time to at least think about it. You can't expect me to shoulder 2 new people in the house. What about our child? This will push back our timeline even more." "God, you are so selfish, Tina. It won't kill us to have kids later in life. This will be the last chance for Mom to have a baby. You know how obsessed she is with children. Don't be so selfish, Tina. We need to band together for this miracle child." "This might be a miracle for you, but it's a nightmare for me, Jaden. I am not being selfish. You are being the selfish and entitled one. Please, just give me some time to think about this." Jaden didn't say anything more and returned to the living room. There he was whispering and laughing with Esther on the couch. Meanwhile, I was freaking out with anxiety and paranoia. I really didn't want to be stuck looking after my mother-in-law and her newborn child. I saw no hope in this situation, so I went to my room, closed the door, and called Vienna. I knew she would understand the situation. I called her and told her everything. She said, "See that, Tina? This is why I told you not to marry my brother. He is nothing but a loser and a mama's boy. God, I can't believe they went this far. Their entitlement has truly gotten out of hand." "What do I do, Vienna? Just thinking about the future is making me nauseous. I don't want to do this, Vienna. I'm tired of Esther and Jaden. I feel humiliated. Jaden even pushed back our timeline to have kids because of Esther." "I can understand your pain, Tina, but you need to be strong. There is no way I will allow you to bend to their will. You need to reevaluate your marriage and see what you want to do. There is a reason why I have low contact with my family. It's time you stand up for yourself too." Vienna's words sparked something in me. It was true that Jaden never thought about anyone but himself and his mom. Hell, he didn't even care about his own sister. All these years I put up with Esther and Jaden did nothing to help. I let him take advantage of me for years. Now he was choosing his mom and new brother over me and our future child. I knew that it was the end of my marriage, but I had a hard time coming out of denial. The next morning, Esther happily moved her stuff into my house. There was a moving truck and everything in sight. I was at work when it happened and found out when I came home. Esther was on my couch smirking at me and sipping on her milkshake. I was furious and went to my room to confront Jaden. I said, "What the hell, Jaden? I only asked for a few days from you. You didn't even give me that. Have you no regard for my feelings?" "Your feelings here don't matter, Tina. My mom and her baby are more important. Their well-being is more important. What will you think about it anyway? I told you this is the only way. If you want to stay with me, you need to do this." "So, that is your final decision, is it? You won't change your mind and won't even consider my feelings. Okay then. You want me to get a second job? Sure, let's do it. The baby and your mom do matter more to you after all." Jaden had his head in the clouds. He thought that I had finally stopped throwing tantrums and agreed to his decision. He hugged me and told me that he was proud of me. Then he went to spend time with his mother. I smiled at them and went to my room. I was going to get a second job after all. I may not have a college degree, but my years of experience mattered a lot. So I was actually able to find a managerial position at a local store. It had night shifts, and which meant it would fit in with my receptionist job just fine. I took that job and went for the interview the next day. I was hired, of course. I had worked there as an employee before. They knew me well. After getting the job, I went straight to a divorce lawyer. Yes, I was going to divorce that piece of crap. When I returned home, both Esther and Jaden swarmed me for information. What information, you may ask? Well, they wanted to know if I found a job or started to look for one. I told them, yes, I found a second job. It's a managerial position, so it pays well. There will be no problems for me. That is good news, Tina. See, it wasn't that difficult now, was it? So, when will you get the first paycheck? I have a ton of stuff to buy. I need the money soon. When will you be able to give me money? I looked at them with a confused expression on my face. I pretended to not understand what they were saying at all. Yes, I have a flair for drama. I was so done with them that I didn't feel any emotion towards them anymore. I said, sorry, Esther, I don't understand. Why would I give you money? You can ask Jaden. What? Why would she ask me? You took the second job to support Mom. You are the one who needs to give her money. You can give her some now from your first job as well. I never said that I got the second job for Esther. This has nothing to do with her at all. I took up a second job so that I could hire a lawyer. Why do we need a lawyer, Tina? I told you we cannot sue the father. It will be too stressful for Mom. We cannot risk that at all. The lawyer is not for Esther either, Jaden. The lawyer is for me. I will be filing for divorce. I have already talked to one, and I am also preparing an eviction notice. This house is not a marital asset, so I don't need to allow you to be here during the divorce. Plus, you earn more than me and have enough money to rent. You can move out within a month, and don't forget to take your mom as well. Hearing this, Jaden was shell-shocked. He went extremely silent, and Esther also did the same. The expression on their faces was super funny, but I held my laughter. I didn't want them to think that I was joking or something. After some time, Jaden and Esther started to shout at me, calling me names. They didn't like the fact that I talked about divorce and eviction. They thought that I was fretting them or something. That night, Jaden slept on the couch. The two continued to berate me throughout the week until the divorce and eviction papers arrived. That hit home the reality that I was truly kicking them out. Then they started to emotionally blackmail me. They said, "How can you do this to a poor child, Tina? I know that you hate me, but my child has done no wrong. Think about my poor child." I do feel bad for the child, Esther. He will end up having a useless mom and an equally useless brother. But that is none of my concern. I will be out of his life long before he is even born. How can you say that, Tina? Have you no heart? Where will we go? How will we take care of the baby? Your mom is a third-time mother, Jaden. I'm sure she knows how to raise a child. Only her daughter turned out right, though, but she doesn't even want to talk to her anymore. Jaden and Esther continued to hound me with their emotional blackmail. The good thing was that with 2 jobs, I was rarely home, and Vienna moved in with me to make sure they don't do anything stupid. Yes, she signed a lease and would be paying me rent too. She would now be my roommate till she gets married to her fiancé. I was glad to have her support in the house. Our divorce went to court because Jaden refused to sign the papers. I was able to provide documents to show financial abuse to some extent. That led to the judge allowing us a 6-month separation period. Jaden protested a little bit but didn't know what to do. When it was time for the eviction, both Esther and Jaden created drama. They alternated between berating me to begging me. I ignored them and forced them to move out. Lawyer fees were getting heavy on Jaden, and he tried to avoid drama. Not to mention that he now had to take responsibility for 3 people. Jaden realized the severity of the situation soon. Esther and Jaden did move in together into a small apartment. Soon, it became apparent to Jaden that he had messed up. He begged to come back to my house without Esther, but I shut him out. I stuck to my guns for 6 months, after which the judge granted me the divorce. I got alimony and half his savings. It was a full win for me. Jaden looked defeated when he left the court. By that time, Esther had already given birth to a healthy baby boy, and the entire financial burden was on Jaden alone. Vienna was not talking to them and refused to give any money. She did meet the child, though. She will be a caring aunt. She simply didn't want to reward Esther's bad behavior. She is still living with me, so I am not alone. I actually left my receptionist job because I am back in college. Yes, I finally decided to pursue my dreams now that I had the money. My new managerial position with the night shift was enough to sustain me while I went to classes in the morning. With the rent from Vienna and alimony from Jaden, I'm confident that I will be able to breeze through college without a problem. Keep me in your prayers.